Two minutes on to 11 o'clock here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You're locked on to WEFM 99.9, the clean fresh sound, and this is your Is Your Turn program. Remember, Is Your Turn is an interactive program, so the numbers to call are 457-9997 if you're calling from a local landline, 532-9997 if you're calling from a digital cell phone, and you could also send us a message or call us on WhatsApp at 457-9997. The Is Your Turn program is being hosted by Mr. Cecil Ryan, Mr. Philbert, and Mr. Providence. Good morning to you, Cecil.
Good morning to you, Karen, and good morning to Philbert, and good morning to Joel, and good morning to all our listeners. We are pleased to be back with you another Sunday morning, today being July 7th. We're happy to be with you this morning in the midst of Vincy Mass. Actually, this is the climax in the weekend. So we're going to come back and talk about some of those features in Vincy Mass. And I'm sure you have your own views, so we'll come back and engage you in a while. In the meantime, let me allow Pijan to greet you.
Yes, good morning, Cecil. Good morning, Joel, Kieran. Good morning to all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to all persons listening to WEFM wherever you are, in neighboring territories, in the wider diaspora. Good morning. It's good to be back on another edition of It's Your Turn. It's a lovely Sunday, and I think we are in a festive mood, and pretty sure you're going to hear more about it, and we anticipate and expect your interaction, and have a good Sunday in the meantime. Joel?
Thank you, Pijan, Cecil, Kieran, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Good morning to each and every one. Happy Carnival, it's Vincy Mass. But I know that there are other things that will preoccupy our time. Some of us who are not necessarily so dedicated to what is good about Vincy Mass, and we'll have other things to do and so on. And we also would like to certainly extend a special greeting to the visitors to St. Vincent and Grenadines at this time. We were told before that the hotels and many of the apartments will be full, and there's evidence of faces and persons whom we don't ordinarily see on the streets of Kingston, that they are here, and they're on the ferry going to Beckway and so forth, and we certainly wish them all the best while they spend their time here in Vincy land. We should have a good program. I guess personally we want to talk about Vincy Mass, Cecil, and Pijan, but I think there are other things to talk about as well.
Yeah, and it would come to them. Jude, I smiled just now when you wishing or Vincy's overseas based Vincy's good time going to Beckway, and they're going to spend. I hope they spend some money as well. I'm sure they are. From the look of things, it seems as though they came to spend the money and to have a good time.
Cecil, just for the sake of the record, you just said today is the 7th. It's the 6th.
Sorry, yes, you're correct. I'm correct. Yeah.
The archives is important that we put the correct stamp date.
It's July 7th month, and the day is the 6th day. So thank you very much, Pijan. Yeah, things look bright outside. Well, not when I drove in, but yesterday I ventured to reach Honors Vale, and I had a rough time driving from Villa Gap to Honors Vale. I mean, I see all kinds of vehicles parked in all kinds of corners, and I see all kinds of persons dressed in all kind of fancy dresses and so on and so forth. So Julia, it seems to be having a good time. They seem to be having a good time. Pijan, any particular thing you observe? And
Not really. Just to perhaps when we start the discussion proper, the interesting result for the Soca Monarch.
well, we have started the discussion. If you want to go, I just want to say I'm expressing solidarity with. I can't really take part or even go close, but I'm expressing solidarity. If you notice, those who are looking on Facebook would see my shirt. I'm expressing solidarity with the total Vinci posse today. Yeah. Yes, Pijan. I don't know. You or Joel, it's up to. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Before you go on, Pijan, I need to say this because last week's program was good, and I've been having a lot of feedback on how the people thought it was positive. Minister King was on, and he gave a lot of information on the history in a way, and his own analysis of how the CPEA has been going. And also people thought Professor Robinson also did a good job in terms of putting the thing in theoretical context. And of course, PM Gonzalez also called in, and then we had a significant contribution from Lance for the week. So all of that, I think, contributed to making last week's program a very special program for a lot of people and provided information. I noticed that SVG TV carried much of it in one of their newscasts. So I just wanted to say that, acknowledge that, but also to say that Minister King has promised, and I believe after the Vinci Mass, after the Vinci Mass has concluded, we would bring him back to talk about the TVET. So
And I know
Joel wanted to come in. Joel?
Yeah, you're going back to the Soca Monarch because I just wanted to say something in relation to last week.
Yeah, I think we should just finish off last week.
I just wanted to make a brief comment.
Yeah.
I know that the Searchlight created a story out of the comment made by Brother Justin.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Claim not claim, but asserted that you
well, in fact, you pose the question.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you would give an A, so at least we will be listened widely.
Yeah. Well, as usual, I mean, this is a program that is most widely listened to in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We know that. Yeah, Joel.
I just want to pose questions rather than make a definitive statement on the subject. But after having a discussion with Minister King a couple of days ago, and it gave me time to reflect and so on this, is the student population, primary school, per school in Kingston versus those in the country. Several weeks ago, we talked about at Coleshill School that there were only 6 persons doing the CPA and so forth. But there are persons who want to go to the traditional prep school, RC, CW Prescott, and so forth. And you have that. So you ask yourself, why is it that you may be living in Sandy Bay or Chateau and so forth, and you're not necessarily working in Kingston. I'm talking about the parent. You're not working in Kingston, not even close, but you may want your child to go to a school in Kingston. When you assume that the curriculum is the same, the quality of the teachers, the same training and so on, and the education should be the same. I would like to think, Pijan and Cecil, that the quality of the teaching, the caliber, should be on par or close to being on par. Whether you're actually a teacher signed to a school in Barley or a teacher signed to a school in Kingston. But yet we want to gravitate towards having because we believe maybe the children's chances are better. So I just want to understand that so that you may actually have a classroom setting with 35, 40 persons in a school in Kingston and one in North Leeward or North Windward with 10, 12, 14, and so on. So I'm just trying to understand that particular issue, but more so, now we notice the success of the private schools. We don't have too many in maybe it's three, I think, two and one just recently that two now established. And they at the common entrance that they are doing well. And last year, like for example, Windsor School did very well in terms of getting the top positions. This year, we know that at the Sugar Milling, for example, that 5 out of the top 10 were 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 from Sugar Milling and so forth. And now you have a situation where actually they have free public education and paid education where it's actually have to be like $2,000+ and you have to speak to the system, but that person will find whether they can make it or not, would want to find the $2,000+ per term to have their child placed in one of the private schools when supposedly the quality of the teachers and the curriculum being the same, quality of the teachers should be fairly close or similar. Why is it that they want to gravitate towards these private schools? And whether or not it is not an opening, an opportunity for a couple additional private schools to be established. What does it say? What does it mean? Or is there something else behind it other than the school itself and the caliber quality of the teachers? There are other factors that at play there. But it's something that I believe that needs to be addressed because you could actually have this disparity or this gap, this widening of gap between the children attending a particular school in rural St. Vincent versus a child attending a school in Kingstown or attending a private school. And what does it say for that child when they become a young adult and so forth? So I'm just saying it for what it is worth. I'm not making any statement. I'm just raising it as something to be discussed, that maybe Minister King on the professionals in the Ministry of Education so on might be able to speak to the issue and see if we can try and address it, because there's still some disparities there that may need to be looked into.
I thought Pigeon may want to because this is Pigeon historically. This has been Pigeon's baby.
The quality of teachers, the resources deployed across the nation, there's much more equity than say in the 60s, 70s, even the early 2000s. And yes, the question must be raised as to why parents still want to send the children to urban primary school. Let me talk about primary school for the time being. Every time I raise the question, the most popular answer is, my children, I'm working in town, the parents are working in Kingston. And I think that could be responsible for most of it. But in terms of the resources deployed, in terms of the quality of education, in my view, there's no disparity really. There's no gap. The private primary schools, that's a different question. They have a little bit more leeway in terms of the curriculum, the approaches. I think so. They tend to be a little bit more highly resourced in terms of materials, but not necessarily in the teachers. And the parents also contribute significantly to the funding and so on of these schools. And where that is the case, there tend to be better performance where there's a high level of parental involvement. This may be controversial, but shouldn't we have an issue when government officials, ministers, send their children to private schools? It's as if they're saying that the government schools are not good enough for us. I don't know, but that is something we could raise.
Well, you have to believe in democracy, and Basically, they're exercising their own, their own privilege, the freedom, the democracy. It's hard to question that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's an individual choice. It's a family a decision of in most cases two parents in the house. One may be a minister of government, the other may not be, and so forth. But in any event, whether they are both ministers or not, I think that they should still have that choice to send their child wherever they want their child to go.
Except a regulation is introduced legally that you send your child or children to where you live in the area that you live, and the area should be defined. Except except that's in the case, Pigeon. And if there's a violation of that, then I could understand the question that you're posing. Otherwise, it's a question of freedom. Yeah.
The thing about it is, if we actually have, I think is can't remember. I think we have about 92 schools overall. I can't remember. I think it's about 70. 70.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, but it's
about.
But let's say the private school. So it might be the ratio of public to private is very high. You know, it's 30 something to 1. Public to private. So if you had more choice and so forth, and the private schools where you could actually put your hand in your pocket, whether you were your monthly pay was small or whether it was significant, and that there's a greater degree of equity of potential and so on for persons, and then you would say that's fine. This is not the reality right now. Maybe we should have more private schools. But and you have private school because we have like Petersville and so forth. But once you have the private schools, you also got to make if the dynamics remain the same and so forth. It is an issue, but at the same time, I am not one who would advocate necessarily from my position necessarily to say that you're going to have to make changes. I think it is what it is. But it's just that I'm just raising it as an issue as to whether or not people cannot receive the same quality education if the support systems are there and they live in the rural area and they attend the rural school, that if all the other elements stack up in a row, that they should be able to perform to their potential.
One thing is for sure, that people place extremely high value on education. Even those, I mean, it's the reason those who send their children to the primary schools, it's the reason they send them there. But generally, and you can tell by looking at a number of indicators, even looking at the graduation ceremony, the number of people, parents, guardians, friends, neighbors who turned out. And it's been happening since that public graduation ceremony has started. You can see it. People and the students themselves who are graduating, even at the CPEA level, education is primary for them. And it's one thing that people need to recognize. Well, people recognize that anyway. But those in leadership and planning and whatever, if they haven't yet, they should recognize that. After health, education is the next thing. It's clear to me. So yeah, Joel.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I just want to respond to that. I didn't
okay.
want to prolong the discussion because
Okay.
there are other dimensions to education that we can speak about, but that can easily be left for when Minister King or someone else is in, and we can talk about that. I wanted to raise something else, even as we get the results for Soca Monarch and comment on the format of the competition and the rules of the competition and so forth. But I was just told something on my way here, and I don't have all the particulars, and maybe you can just support or just maybe find out or just question the source and then question me, and then we can go from there. It has to do with what I heard that Prime Minister Modi, Prime Minister of India, visited Trinidad and Tobago
Yes,
a couple of days ago.
I saw some footage of
Right?
it.
That's fine. But why I'm raising it now is that he actually said, and it was received and well accepted and supported by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, that Mr. Modi is actually extending to the Indian diaspora. And in the context of Trinidad and Tobago, the persons from Trinidad and Tobago of Indian background, that they can actually have visa-free entry into India, right? So it's an extension to the Indian diaspora in Caribbean and beyond, wherever they may be in the United States and so forth. But so that you can be of African descent or European descent or Native American, Caribbean descent and so forth. And you get that and say that, well, Mr. Modi is not speaking to me. He's only speaking to those. So if we're a group of us, whether we're going to play cricket in India or not, some persons, you virtually have to indicate, well, okay, this cricketer doesn't need a visa, and these three need visas and so forth. And I said, I thought that if this is the case, and if we can get a confirmation, someone else can call in and just tell me that I'm wrong. But this person with whom I spoke said definitively that this is the case. But they can also correct me. That you're saying that to Trinidadians, that, well, you over there, you find you can go to India, no problem, no visas required, nothing. But those of us from up the hill, you know the hill I'm talking about, or down Point 14 and so on, that we have to go and
Say the hill, Laventille.
we have to go get and I just thought, so you're making a distinction between an Indo-Trinidadian and an Afro-Trinidadian. I just thought with 1.3, 1.4 million people in Trinidad, it's not a hell of a lot. And how many persons would be, say, heading to India at any time, whether it's for a vacation or
But where do you make the cutoff point? Where do you cut off? Who is Indian and who is not?
Yeah, and then what happened to the Dougla and so on, as we call it, and so forth. How do you begin?
Gerald, somebody's calling him. Maybe the
Yes.
person may. Let's just listen to what the person has to say. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning, Joel. Good morning, Pigan.
Good morning.
Cecil.
Morning.
Good morning. I listen to the program. What I normally do.
Who's calling?
And they have
Who's
this
calling? Who's
This is
calling?
Big speaking. Bigger
Well,
Big.
yeah,
Bigger.
well, you know the rule of the program. You need to say who it is.
Well, wait, I will tell you that Bigger Big.
Go ahead,
Bigger,
go ahead.
okay? Now, I listen to you all from beginning, but what is amazing is, and we'll go back, I will have to track back a bit, because I was trying to get in before that, before we go over to the part where they speak about Trinidad and the president from India. I was listening well with the educational part. And the discrepancy you are raising, I feel it is a little bit biased and hypocritical. Here why?
On whose part? On whose part? On whose part?
And you and Joel part. The reason be because I heard Pigeon say anything else. Because here why? Well, here is me out. The fact that a minister whosoever could send the child, all well. But the part of that, and you call it democracy. That is what you said. Democracy, it is democracy. But when me decide I'm not going to support Ralph.
No, we're not entertaining that discussion. I'm sorry. We're not entertaining.
Okay,
No.
Okay,
we're not.
But
If your comments are on education, fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we discuss. That's
But
the
it's
topic.
not education because we talk about democracy.
No.
Okay?
Pigeon is one who
But what's the
Okay.
point exactly?
Okay.
you're
No,
making, though?
no,
Okay.
but Joel, no.
Okay,
I'm not
no.
allowing
Okay.
any
No,
diversion.
he's not gonna allow
I'm
it.
sorry.
Joel, no,
No,
no big deal,
but
Joel, no big deal.
If we're
But I think-
talking, if we're
I think the
talking,
listeners get where I'm going, okay? The
well,
listeners get where I'm
fine,
going. Have a
fine. If you
wonderful
think so.
morning,
You too.
everybody.
Yeah,
Love
You
you,
too.
afterwards.
Sorry
Bye-bye.
about that.
I would like to hear his point.
No,
though.
no. If
I want to
we're-
hear his point. I would like to hear
Well,
what
the
he
point
would-
is this, Joel.
Uh-huh.
And as people would know that as me as a moderator, people know me. I insist that people stick on topic, be on point. We were raising the question of the last week's discussion, talking about the CPA, and you were talking about some of the factors that need to be looked at. That is what we're talking about. Pigeon raised the question, and I responded by saying it's democracy. Well, I mean, after you just spoke, Pigeon spoke. I say it's democracy, freedom of choice, except there's a regulation in place. That's all on point.
Yeah, but P. John then raised the point about whether and something about the minister.
We have a call. Yeah. Well, we have a call. Good morning. Welcome to the program. Good morning. No, I raised the point of freedom when Pigeon raised the point about the minister, and I said, except there's a regulation in place, there's legal things in place, then a person has the right to go wherever.
And I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
right.
But I think that the caller was basically following upon the same thing. He's responding
No,
to
he
what
talked about Ralph. He made something about Ralph. I'm sorry, I am not going to allow that. As long as I'm a moderator, I stick on point. That's what I do.
But
with all
that's it.
persons.
But I don't know what was the point that he was making. He called
Well,
him,
he mentioned
but
Ralph.
not meaning the prime minister.
No, he mentioned Ralph. and
Ralph, but
something,
meaning I assume Ralph is the prime minister, right?
yeah, but Joel,
But we don't know what he was going to say.
but Joel, he talked about democracy. That's his departure point. He mentioned democracy, but we talk about democracy in the context of educational opportunity and educational whatever it is.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about.
I understand that,
Yeah,
and
but
I
I'm not gonna
support that
sit in
view,
this-
but
I'm not-
we don't know what he was going to say.
Except
I
I'm
don't-
not going to sit there arguing about what
He was
bigger
going to
bits
make the
wanted.
point that we invoke democracy when it suits us.
That's all right. I don't know. I don't know if he was going to say that. But
I
my
don't
point
know.
is that we need to stick on point. If we're discussing education, let's stay with education.
But he wasn't off point yet. We don't know
He
if
was-
he was.
he
I
was
don't
just
know.
off
I don't
point.
know if he was
Anyway,
off point.
let's move on, man. We're not arguing about big contributions. Yeah. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to everybody. My name is Lavon.
Hi,
Mr.
Lavon.
Ryan, I think you're right.
No, well, let's not, Lavon. Let's not prolong that
listen.
discussion. Let's not prolong it.
Yeah, remember he started to say, when I say I ain't supporting Ralph, where the player name up to be in this morning?
All right,
All the
it's
talking
all
about
right. It's all right. The decision
schools.
has been made. Don't
You
worry.
understand?
Yeah.
Player name out came out.
No.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. Thanks for calling. That makes sense arguing back and forth. As a moderator, it's always been that. People may think that I cut people off. No, I stay on point. And that's the whole essence of moderating. You have to stay on point. Otherwise, the discussion gets all over the place. You lose the essence of what we're doing. We're talking education, the CPEA. In fact, in a way, we were looking back at what happened last week, which was
I take your point.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, greetings. Blessed morning
Yes.
to each and everyone. Brother Joel, yeah, glad to have you again, Brother Joel.
Thank you.
Pijan and
Good day.
my favorite brethren, Cecil.
I'm no more favorite than my other colleagues, you know. Don't come with that. Don't come and sweet out, you know. Shut up.
Joel is stepping up, man. He's stepping up. He's
Don't
coming
sweet
bit
out
by
me.
bit. Next
How
year,
you going?
see
How you
what
going?
that's growing. You
I
know?
saw you.
Yeah.
I saw you at Soca Monarch last night. You know, you're moving well, man.
No, don't try that. I ain't going nowhere. You
I'm
you
sure.
are propaganda thing now. You know?
I'm sure I saw you at Soca Monarch last
Nah,
night.
I stayed. I now missed you.
I can
man.
tell you where you were standing. In fact,
You ain't gonna say you see me with two women. You know?
well, you see, you are telling us that you actually were with two women.
Nah, I didn't go no show for two. I stayed home and listen till all 4 5. I pay more attention that way. Get distracted in certain show when I want to analyze them. I rather listen them, you know. Yeah. So you playing young fella, all right. And anyway, you're still youthful, you know. When you start aging, when you're from 100, you start checking about old. And so you still youth. And it's how you keep your mind to and develop your mind. Joel know that too. Peter John, you know that, you know. How you feel, how you think, you know. 'Cause I still feel like I'm in my 20s, sometimes less than that. How you train the mind, you know. Yeah. Joel, I glad because last week, since I don't know, I find these days I get a real problem to get into your program. If I show you my phone, I run into you.
What do you mean? Should calling or listening? Which one?
Yeah, calling and not getting on taking the call 3, 4, 5 times.
Well,
you know,
it depends. Maybe you call on the lines are engaged.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you might step out the studio at the time. You never know.
We don't normally.
No, not you. No, your moderator man who collect the calls sometimes.
No. The calls come in. Let me explain. The calls come in. They show up on the computer screen, and I take the calls.
And when the call is engaged, when it is engaged,
you the man who take
it
the call.
don't get the busy. It don't get the busy signal because they have more than one line.
Yeah, and sometimes yeah.
But the technician here, Karen Sutton, he's a very competent man, and he sets things up. And once he sets things up, he can go home and sleep. In fact, he can go to Sokomonag because things remain set. No, I'm just explaining. No, I didn't say you're blaming anybody. I'm just telling you about Karen's quality and his ability.
Yeah.
So he sets things up, and we're good to go.
Anyway, I'm glad you brought this discussion all because let me get in all before anything change. Okay, don't you start to change them some kind of bad vibes there, you know? And I don't like it.
It's not bad vibes, man. That's what the process is all about.
In, some bad vibes want to come in, you know. So you
I know, but it's all right. We know how to manage.
Yeah.
We know how to manage.
Yeah, so you know, because not easy when you see a boss in my brain tackling my rates and write down my stuff on my paper, and then I can't get into expand on it. You know, it's not easy. I go and pull aside and steam up a little, and you know, and get my composure.
You have a lot of energy. You know, you have a lot of energy, man. You can do that after even to attend Soca Monarch. You have a lot of energy.
Yeah. Don't try that. Don't you bring a picture visual to prove in the court and my brethren, the magistrate John ain't going to allow that, you know, you prosecuting me there, you know. Yeah, now within the education sector, right? First, let me quote a United Nations Article 26, right? It says that everyone has a right to education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Now, I will listen, Professor Roberts. I want to take you back, as you say, take you forward to the duration graduation of the college, right? One thing I took out it is the lady, I don't remember her name, I can't remember her name for the whole week, who made a speech there.
Dr. Thomas, Dr. Karen Thomas.
Yeah, thanks, Cecil, Dr. Thomas. That was the name. And so simple, and I can't remember it all last week and this week. She made
Bongo Chaka. She's the director of the college.
Oh, Mr. Scott, what's her name there? He resigned.
Scott. Yeah, he resigned. So she replaced Mr. Scott as the director.
Okay then. All right. Okay. Yeah, I love her articulation and the development. Remember we said that education is continuous and changes is continuous, right? Changes never stop. It continue till the end of time. You all have changes. And I see
so does education as well.
Yeah, well, in general we speak in that, yeah. What I observe is that some of the things that we are speaking on, and I love that. Even I speak on something 10 years, 5 years ago, and few people speak on it, and then I see it being initiative in some setting here, whether program or whatever. I love that, right? And I see that she's speaking about changing something in the curriculum, right? Because remember we said that in the development country, people should study things that the country need to develop itself and its people, not just go and study some and then you have to go overseas for employment. Okay, look at our technical fees here. We have so much, we need so much machinists and technical people to fix a lot of machine that we use. Okay, so I seen where she specifically even spoke on with the nurses and in particular, you know, on other program they go in and set. I say, wow, she have some good innovation there, man. You know, that lady is thinking. So I think that in the near future, I think when you would go to study, there will be good entrepreneurship, not just to study, because 12 years ago, as a research have done by university, which shows that most everyone who goes to university will take up studies to be employed and not to be their own bosses and so on, you know. So I see we're moving toward that direction, you know, including those who develop very smartly, who very creative and innovative and inventors. We need to tap into these people. As I said, you see, we're going out the young youths in Africa now, you know, and we will try, one will try to shut us down, but we will rise above that, you know. So I'm glad that she brought into that. And also, remember a week or so ago, I was telling you, I think it was on Shaker program with my brethren there. But I mentioned, I think here too, that we must look inwardly. And what Dr. Robertson brought into the fray, he mentioned that also. And last week too, Brother King has said that like we follow more old school, like European style, this, that, when we speak about exams and so on, right? So I'm glad when Dr. Robinson said that we need to start look inwardly, you know, and be creative. And I know what he was speaking on. I'll read and expand on it for full length, right? So I'm glad that he brought into flow, and I think we are moving towards the right direction within our education sector, you know. And I hope to see that in the future we have physical education is one of the biggest part in our curriculum, okay? And it must be in development properly, and it develop the mind of the children, because it go hand to hand. In order to focus, the mind must be developed, the mind must be trained, that we get bigger and bigger, right? So I'm glad to see that. And I'm going to give credit to the teachers, to those who have graduated, and the students and the teachers and the parents in particular, who spend time with the children, not to just boast when the children pass something, when you know mostly teacher and the student put the effort. Some parents don't put effort, but they go, oh, yes, Cecil. Did you ever teach Cecil or read something to Cecil? No, but you making boast, right? So,
But that's all
why
right.
we
That's all
probably-
right. If it's if the offspring
Yeah,
of
but-
they're happy and they're pleased about the performance.
Yeah,
and they're
it's
proud.
a natural thing in human being, you know, but some you don't know go on behind closed doors, as we said, you know.
But
So I'm
still.
glad one thing to see that some of the syllabus are being changed. It's time enough we move away. And as I said for years, Joel and Pijan, I want to ask this. I always saying for years, right? When I come from primary school and Carter School and St. Martin's, right? I always be wondering to myself, when I went to live in United States, I said to myself, why don't we have like a credit kind of system whereby you don't put a strain on a youth for exams, right? You keep monitoring everything aspect of the youth, even in personal life behavior and so on. You keep a record of these children that when come to enter the age of for secondary school, we have no problem. You say, oh, he can't read, he can't do this, he can't do that. It will be up to par, and you just enter. So you have to be studying, busting brain. Your mother born on you, you want to take a break, you want to play with friends a little, but you get your book, you know, and it's peer pressure. So I'm saying that we should have some kind of evaluation system where person just chance sent straight into the secondary education and will be up in par with everything, so you have no fall. But you may have 1 or 2 years, it's a natural thing in life, but teachers must pay good attention to those who fall in short. Because what I do when I teach
So hold on,
Joel,
Bongo Shaka. The pigeon, you call pigeons.
yeah, pigeon.
Pigeon, you want to give a response?
I don't really have any much of a response to that. There's still the need for a system to separate our children, because we have a 3-4 tier system of secondary education. Some schools are ranked, and even if they all given the same education at the primary level, determining what happens at the secondary calls for some form of assessment, and the assessment is really meant to divide.
Well, I say my assessment, right, is to keep in a stock of everything you do. You will be doing exam, yes. You have to be doing exam and tests during your periods from one state to another. But you will be paying good attention to the weaker youths of them, and to try and enhance their weakness in whatever subject matter there may be into that, and you will have an equal balance. But Joel had mentioned, so I think Cecil, you too, about the colonial system. Like we say, re-education takes a good while, right? When you got to re-educate people in particular, and so matter embedding you for years, it will take a while, right? Because I think we went in bed with these prestigious schools. Grammar school, high school. Everyone wanted to go, grammar school, high school. But we have seen whereby other schools have been doing a lot better in certain subject matters. So it's the availability of the teachers, right? And the availability of material, teacher materials, and so on, and the ability of the teacher with that love and compassion for what they're doing. Okay, I think that will make a better shape mind and person in personality and character in the youths of them, if you have those kind of thing, because I think it's a very hard thing, because I don't know why. I had passed. I got a scholarship to go grammar school, Cecil, because when I used to go St. You remember in those days we had a class called scholarship class. In primary school, I never
hold on.
class.
There was no class called scholarship class. The teachers or the school would make it scholarship class, but officially, it wasn't. As far as the system is concerned, it wasn't.
No, I'm just telling you how we used to call it in the local town when we used to go primary school. We used to call that. So when you reach a certain class, you go straight in that. The brighter youths, now we say, the brighter youths in the school. And I passed a grammar school and was going to scholarship, and I didn't go. I went to St. Martin. I went and go straight into Form 2 in grammar school. When I set for St. Martin, I passed, and I was going Form 1. And I chose St. Martin because I know my brother and all my close brethren was going there. So I just gave up to grammar school. I saw some of the same guy when child school, me went grammar school, so I was kind of sharp, still sharp, Yeah.
Bongo Shaka, you're far gone beyond your time.
But
I just want to say to you, though, I just want to say to you.
Miss me,
Yeah, we did miss you. But hear me.
Yeah, man.
In relation to the first part of what you were saying, you may wish to, if you haven't yet done it, there's an article on page 7 of the newspaper by Hugh Stewart. It's called "Governments Should Develop the People Strategically." I don't agree with all that he says, but he will mention some of those things that you were saying. You may wish to refer to the article.
I don't really read the papers, unless somebody send me something. Yeah.
You should. Well, if you don't, I'll copy it later on and share it with you.
Yeah, you don't know we link. Don't tell Joel we secret, man. We
I didn't say anything. You're the one who's speaking. You notice?
Yeah,
you're the one who's speaking, and you shouldn't. I just said I'll copy it and send the article to you. Yeah, that's enough.
You are a kind of overcover agent type boy. You're lapsed in there, boy.
Anyway, so the article mentions some of those things that you're talking about earlier in the thing. And as I said, I don't agree with him necessarily. But I'll share it with you.
Send me it, and I'll do it research this evening later on.
All right.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home as usual. I like a home boy thing.
Hold on, Joel. I want to engage you. Hold on. Oh, sorry. But here, you're not going to shout for your I don't know what to call it. or her. For tonight, I talk about
Cali-
tonight.
No,
Calypso
I
final.
could have got a ticket or not to go, but I get to this chap, man. The last time I went, I even know who's staying what and what. The amount of old bodies I meet, man, me see for 30, 50, 70 years.
But that's good.
You know,
That's good. That's part of carnival.
You get this chap. So
But that's
I
part
just
of
stay home and
carnival.
listen.
That's why one of the reasons you go to link,
Right, you know,
link,
but
and to
pay
reflect.
attention to the shows due to its competitive
All right.
shows, you know. I
So
like
you won't be there. All right. But Calypso
but
final
you
is
don't
tonight.
surprise. If I come there looking for you and Joel,
We
I
will
know
be
for
there.
sure.
We will be there. All right, Uncle Sugar, take care.
Man, give thanks a lot, and I
Sure.
hope we bring the program to edification. You know, I love the edification.
Once I'm
Like
here,
you are.
moderating, you can guarantee
Man,
that.
with big people, and we suppose show maturity. You know, let's hang
But
out.
I'll copy the thing and send it to you.
Yes, this
The
is
article. All right, take care.
Joel. Yeah, Pijan, and them
Yeah,
use it for
okay.
hail of great uncle, Pijan.
All right.
Tell them I talk and something, right?
All
Yeah,
right.
man.
Thanks
And
for
the bigger
calling.
one will be here, Pijan. When he come, I'll let you know so you can meet him. The bigger one used to go
Okay.
St. Martin. Yeah, he be here and his grandson. Okay.
All right,
So,
take care. Have a good day.
Yeah, man, all the best and much appreciated. At least
Okay.
you give me time from last week, Bill, up, so that I'll get my time back.
Yeah, Joel, sorry.
Yes, I wanted to go back to the issue of Prime Minister Modi
Oh, yes.
and the thing in Trinidad, because I got from a cousin of mine while we were on the phone, who was a senior official in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Trinidad and Tobago. And she gave me her take on the situation. And it's actually that it's a special citizenship. You can become a citizen of India by naturalization. And it goes as far back to 6 generations to any Trinidad and Tobago national. Now, in a sense, there's some similarity. It's because if you go back 6 generations, well, you could actually be not necessarily be an Indian in terms of your ethnicity entirely, but if you can make that trace, the six generations, then you could be entitled to a citizenship of India by naturalization. I don't know if there are other criteria that qualify in this citizenship. Maybe there is, but I'm just saying that is what I was told that is. We have gone for Vincentians, children of Vincentians to 2nd generation, but India is actually offering to the 6th generation, so which virtually is maybe will go back as far as 1860 or 1850, whatever the case might be, and so on. So that is what that is. I'm also
and that is only for Trinidadians.
And I understand that it may very well be applied to others in other places.
Meaning St. Vincent and Grenadines as well.
Well, maybe, but basically, maybe it's broad to the entire Indian diaspora. But if you can make that connection, but that's what it is. I'm also told, and I didn't have this information before, that Ghana had actually made us something similar to, and so on. So whether or not, if it's for 5 generations, 6 generations, so on, or whether or not persons like myself and so on, to say, well, okay, well, more than likely, well, first thing first, I have to go and dig and see how far back I can go. And it's unfortunate that it is persons of African descent find it harder to make that link back to their place of their ancestors, as opposed to persons of European or Indian or Madeira descent and so on. It's unfortunate, but that it's a little bit different. But by and large, it's still citizenship to Trinidadians who can make that link to their back all the way back to India. Then that some special citizenship is not just a visa-free entry, but that the citizenship is available, but the qualification of that citizenship, I don't know. So maybe we can get more information as the program goes along.
Interesting.
If there's an economic element to it, and persons see it is perceived as a path through to economic growth and development, expect resistance from some quarters.
mean back in India?
Not even in India, but other parts of the world might think, for instance, if all the trained people, educated people from the United States diaspora
I understand.
Go
want
ahead.
to move back to India,
Mm.
they may find a way to curtail it.
Who may find out to curtail it? The Indian?
No,
Government?
The Americans.
The
The Americans?
Yes. I understand that point, Pijan,
But
because
how are they going to find out to curtail it? I don't understand. How can they?
Well, already, there's a statement being made now that they're going to take action into the dual citizenship.
Or
So
the Americans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to address that. So if you have, it's one or the other. But I
Okay.
do recall that Modi was actually making overtures to the skilled Indians abroad
Right.
to come back and build India.
Before the Trinidad thing?
Before, yes.
Yeah.
This was like maybe a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so he was making that kind of statement. And then this question of dual citizenship and so on comes into play. And certainly if you have to, if money is involved, if you have to pay for the citizenship, then it raises some issues. But even if you don't have to pay, there's still the question of duality and so on still comes into play, and you may have to decide which one you want to keep and which one you want to forego. So it's in on that. So I just have and as you mentioned that, I read the document this morning that we
Joel,
Yeah, okay.
Call. Let's go to it. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Are you
Good
hearing me
morning.
clearly?
Yes.
Yes,
very
very
Are you
much so.
hearing me clear?
Yes.
Pardon me?
Very
Yeah,
much so.
we're
Very
hearing
much
you.
so.
Very good. Because we have difficulty getting on to you clearly from honestly, Here now, I just got up, but I excuse my seeming probably lack of intelligence, but it baffles me that you all are wasting so much valuable time discussing Indian heritage, Indian citizenship in Trinidad, offering citizenship to the Indian element in Trinidad. But we here have so many valuable and important things affecting us, which people of your intellect should be addressing their minds too.
Number
And
one.
because-
Number one.
Uh-huh.
Number one.
You want me to give number one?
Yeah.
The agriculture sector, look for 20-something years, the farmers can't get to the land.
Which farmers?
you are in a
Which
strong
farmers and in
position.
which location? Which farmers in which
All the
location?
farmers, and particularly in St. David.
So how do we get right now? If you're going to Kingston tomorrow, not tomorrow, tomorrow's holiday, but say Wednesday. It's only yesterday. You see a lot of produce in the market,
Yes.
and there's those who export to Trinidad and the Barbados and further up. How do they get those produce out?
So you are impressed because you've seen a lot of stuff.
No, I didn't say that. You
that
said
conditions are favorable.
no.
You asked me how by.
You're not.
Oh,
You're
you
not.
asked me how to get them. By very hard, excessively.
Hear me. And I believe the
I
person I'm
listen to
speaking
you.
with is Providence, isn't
Yes,
it?
I'm listening to you, sir. Respectfully, so too.
Yeah. Am I talking with Providence?
Yeah, Leroy Providence.
Because you didn't give any money.
Originally from the village of Chomoka in St. David, the parish of St. David. This parish I'm talking about.
All right. Those CPA, not CPA. Yeah, those students would love to hear you identify where you're from. Especially those who are in geography. But yes, you were saying that the farmer, you're making a very general statement saying the farmers do not have roads to get their produce out. So I was responding to point out that there are farmers who do get their produce out because they're able. Because let me finish now.
I'm listening to you politely, my friend.
All right, I appreciate. Because they do ship stuff, produce that they grow and whatever to Barbados every Monday.
Yeah.
There's one of those I think it's Bakery Express boats that take produce to Barbados. Then they ship also to Trinidad, which and also to Antigua and further up, BVI. So my question, and if you go into the market here, vegetable market, you sort of would find not even if you go on the roads, You find a lot of fruits, carrots,
Beautiful.
and all
Well
sorts of
said.
things. So I'm asking, how do they get them out then?
Good. So you'll give me a chance. I listen to you politely. Give me a chance to explain. Now, they get them out by hard work, hard and under excessive difficult circumstances. Because let me just think, and probably one of these days we could arrange to go to the area to see what I'm talking about, physically. Let us go to Rose Hall and then to the Cumberland Valley and see what I'm talking about. Because here, in late 1990s, I used to drive up to Convent, in our lands in Convent in the Cumberland Valley, in a little 600 Fiat, right up to my land. Today, at this since early 2000, I can't get there, not even with a four-wheel drive vehicle.
Can I ask you, say again where the land is located?
Convent in the Cumberland Valley.
Oh, what's it called?
Convent.
Convent? I don't know.
Convent.
All right, I didn't know about the existence of that area. But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, it's of historical thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I am telling you that since 2001, even after our government had so emphatically expressed that they were going to fix the Cedar Road, they haven't started yet. So that the other day, 2 months ago, I asked one of my workmen to cut some bamboo in Convent for me because I wanted to bring them up to Annisville to do a project. And he put them on the hillside as we normally did when we take and load. And I sent a truck there, but the truck could not go there. Imagine that. The very place where I used to drive up, the little 600 feet, the truck could not go there. So what we had to do, we head them out from that area onto the highway to be able to get the truck to pick them up. And that is,
hold on, clarify. When you say highway, you mean the main highway down at the bottom?
The main road then.
Down at the very bottom?
Spring Village. Hello?
Between Spring Village and Charles Village at main road?
No, between Spring Village, between Convent and the main road going up into the mountains.
Okay.
You understand me now?
Yeah.
The road that Binlek uses.
Oh, okay, that one. But bear in mind that a lot of people won't be able to follow you because they're not familiar with the area. But go ahead.
If you allow me to think I could. A lot of people know the road I'm talking about. A lot of people, because people, even hunters from up in our area here go down there to hunt. They're very familiar with the road. You know?
All right, finish making your point.
Hello. Well,
finish making your point.
I am saying that you gentlemen there in a strong position. Let us go and visit the area and see what I am talking about, so that we could impress on the authorities that the need to have that addressed.
So you said you would make the arrangement? You said you would make the arrangement. Did you say?
I could make the arrangement if you just let us make this later this month. As I can do it, I'd be happy to do that.
All right. So I'll tell you what. If you're happy to do that, I'll take your number because I'm seeing it on the screen, and I'll call you to follow up and to say when you want. Which means that
so
when
I
you
could
say,
expect a call before the end of the month.
Hold on. If you're going to make arrangement, I would just want to clarify. You would arrange the transportation.
Well, what
will you arrange the transportation?
Yes, that's a small sacrifice to pay for the agony we have been burdened with over these years.
Okay, so you will make the arrangement in terms of transportation.
Yes.
Transportation.
Yes, transportation. You could walk with your own food.
Okay.
I make the transportation. You walk with your own.
Oh yeah, that's easy. That's easy.
Very good.
And you're extending that invitation to me personally only?
No, to this whole panel there, because you're.
Well, I'm speaking for myself in terms of this. I can't speak for the others. They have to.
Well, I am appealing to the group. You can let me speak to the others there.
They're hearing you.
No, well, good. So let them. Well,
I have your number. Hear me. I just took your number. So they will be. I will contact you, and you would say, and I can have them take your number as well.
Could I expect a
why
call
you not
from you by
allowing
when?
me to finish? Why you not allowing me?
You see, you, I know it's your show, but I am calling
not three of
credit
us.
to pay for, so you have to give me some chance too, yeah? You have to be reasonable now. All right, well, I'm listening.
Yeah, so I've taken your number and I will call you sometime to tell you to arrange when I'm available and where you can pick me up.
And
I want to hear from the other gentleman.
You're hearing from Pigeon. My role in this situation.
No, well, let me hear from you. You are the moderator, and you have gentlemen there who are communicating with the public. I want to hear from them.
So you're hearing from Pigeon now. My role
from all of you.
My role.
You need to listen a bit. You need to listen.
Hello?
You need to listen.
Well, you have to pardon me, because the agony which the
no,
farmers have been under for
don't
these
hide
years,
behind the agony. Don't hide for listening. Don't hide behind the agony. No,
all right, good. Thank you very much.
Don't hide behind the agony.
Stay on the line. I was making the point that my role in this situation is to give you access and exposure to raise the points.
Okay, who is this? This is Mr. Ryan speaking to myself.
Pigeon.
Mr. Pigeon, your role is to give me access to what?
To the airwaves, so you could raise these issues.
No, but that's Mr. Ryan's function.
No.
Are you the person paying for the radio time? You're mixing me up, man. I thought Mr. Ryan is the man in charge of the program.
I'm the moderator.
But
Mr. Ryan is the moderator.
I'm co-moderator, co-facilitator of the discussion.
Who, Mr. Peter?
Mr. Pigeon, Mr. Philbert.
Pigeon, Mr. Peter, sorry about that.
So I don't go beyond discussion.
Oh, so you're not a patriot as I thought you were because of your thing there. I thought you were a patriotic Vincent and willing to your contribution in the development of the whole country.
It is limited to discussion.
Oh, well, you should give somebody else a chance on the radio because you don't qualify for this important role. I'm telling you. I'm surprised to hear you say that. I am surprised to hear that you only there to accommodate me speaking and not to accommodate the arrangement for the development of the country.
Mr. Providence, I will report to Pigeon. Pigeon Pigeon is unable to go, so I will go once you pick me up, and I will report to him.
May I just put in my 2 cents?
What about Mr. Providence?
That is what I'm going to say. I'm just letting you know that I also own land in that area, in a place that I knew as Depom. So it's on Springville, Depom, going out the way up towards
Springville,
So I am aware of the area, and I know the what you're talking about. And I would, once I can make it, I will go along as well. But I'm just saying, independent of you, that I have made it my business to go in that area from time to time.
Very good. And are you in agreement with what I'm saying about the difficulty farmers are having?
We have to go there and find out, Mr. Providence.
You said you will be Providence. I found a problem, so
No. We have to go there and find out. That's the whole purpose of the trip. That's the whole purpose of the trip.
I rate you above that dodging businessman.
No, that's not Mr. Providence.
He has land in the area, so I'm asking him if he's aware. Limiting the farmers.
Look, but seriously, I'm serious now.
I'm serious.
Hear me? All right, fine. So listen to me. Listen to me. Do you have? And I'm serious. Do you have a designated driver to drive the vehicle that we're going in?
We'll have to get a good driver.
Okay, so I depend on you for that.
When we arrange it, you will get more than good drivers.
All right, so I depend on you for that. I'll give you a call and we take it from there. All right?
When could I get the call before the end of the month?
I'll try and make it before the end of the month.
I'll hold you to that.
Yes.
Because let me put in this: when the family fails, the society fails, right? As our brother Ipa would remind us. So I'm saying the Ryan family is a strong family and they had.
All right, let's move on. All right, that's not necessary. That's not necessary. That is not necessary. I'm representing Cecil Ryan.
I'm making the point.
No. I am going as Cecil Ryan based on your invitation. and your
Yes,
provision
and to
for taking me there. All right, I'll call you.
And I
I'll
am
call you.
reminding you that the Ryan family is
It's all right. I'll call you. I'll call you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Very much.
May I just make a comment, just
Yeah.
very brief, that there's been major land slippage in that area going there because of high mount and so on. But I know that there have been plans, and I think they pretty much on the way to repair that road going up there. So it's Braxis is involved in it, and I think that it's not to say that it's not being addressed. It
Yes.
is being tackled anytime now.
All right. We have another call. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good afternoon. Franklin Brown.
Hey, Franklin.
Mr. Franklin Brown,
Yeah.
greetings. Special greetings to you. By the way,
Yeah.
before you get into
Yeah.
your main activity, man, you owe me a call to tell me a private matter.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, okay, all right.
That's it, but,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, let's
But,
move
you
on from
know,
there. Let's move
I
on.
was listening to it. I was listening to Fabi. Now, there's an estimate to fix that Hermitage road.
Yes.
The problem is that getting the contractor. There was certain contractor identified. I wouldn't call the name, but I don't know. It's probably,
Are you speaking?
he's a-
Hold on, Frankie. Are you speaking on authority of Raxa or who?
Yeah.
Okay,
I could
all
speak
right.
on authority.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure because people
that,
may say you call
Yeah.
into but yeah, all right. So you're speaking.
I know there's estimates to fix that road, and a contractor was identified, but things not moving as slowly as we thought.
Okay.
And the other point I want to make is that sometimes we think that fixing the road would encourage people to do farming. I have some land in Ferguson, over 5.5 acres, with proper roads and so forth. And it is very difficult to get farmers. I mean, workers to cultivate those lands. My son was trying a thing up there. He had put some animals up there, and dog went and eat all of them. And after that, he just lost inches in it. So the thing is that we had to go back and try to get workers for these land. There's a lot of idle land where there are a lot of roads. So I want Mr. Providence to know that even though the road is fixed, what we have to do is to get people to have interest in the land again, to work the land. That is the main
Well,
part.
he's listening to you, and perhaps he may consider and commit himself to doing that, or assisting at least.
Yeah. That is the main problem, because I traverse the country inside out, and the amount of idle land I see with proper roads and so forth. We had to try and tackle pre-that larceny. That is a major problem. You have your farm, you cultivate, you go home, you come back, they dig out half sack of the full sack of the produce. So we had to try and stamp that in anybody if you want to encourage people, because it's difficult for you to pay workers, and then at the end of the day, other people come and reap your produce. You understand?
Frankie, don't you also think that it is too easy to access fruits and vegetables at the supermarket that are imported?
Yeah, well, we have to look at the cost of production, eh? And sometimes when people talk about we should produce certain things, I normally laugh, because I tell them, boy, sometimes with our limited resources and economies of scale, I mean, we cannot produce as those large countries. The cost of production is way, way low. And that is why certain products from overseas, beers and things, like Carib, could come here and sell at a cheaper rate, sometimes at a cheaper rate than our own. So, it's a lot of things we have to look at. We can't just say, boy, we should produce fruits and juice and them kind of thing. And you have to look at the cost of production. Our electricity is very high.
Economies of scale.
Yeah, labor. You understand? Our market is very small.
When you say labor, you mean the cost of labor?
Cost of labor.
Okay.
And even sometimes getting people to do the work. Because even though in construction, you building a house, it's very, very difficult to get a contract, to get workers. Very, very difficult. And the other thing to Mr. Providence, I hope he's listening. It is all well to say that the government is not doing this and that. But it is also good.
Well, he didn't quite,
in
all fair, he didn't say the government is not. Yeah. He didn't say that, eh?
No, what my thing is that I just be listening to him and read his articles, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I think it should be fair.
Except we got to talk. Except you got to respond to the call he made this morning.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to say that we should be fair when we're making something. When the government doing a good job, you say that they're doing a good job. But agriculture now, and sometimes even with banana, the days of banana when we had preferential treatment, those days done. And it come back again to economies of scale and cost of production. When you could get them big country would have acres of land bigger than Sinbin to one farm. You understand? The cost of production is way, way low. And sometimes labor cost is next to nothing. We cannot compete with them. And it's survival of the fittest. What we need is niche market.
Yes.
We have something special that the other people and them don't offer.
Of a higher value, and you can your margins would be higher than per unit.
Yeah, it might be the case of our banana, and we could market that the banana that's coming from South America and those things don't really have no taste. We have better taste. We don't use certain type of fertilizers and even get into organic stuff and those sort of things. These are things that you will make money from. We cannot compete on a level playing field with those big countries. We have to offer something different and special in order to encourage people to buy your product. Someone make a statement the other day that when they go to the supermarket, I think it was Kojo, you see the price of our peppers and those other things.
No, I think it was Joel.
Yeah.
Not last week, the week before, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, way up there in comparison to the thing. I mean, for people to buy those things, it had to be something special. When they go to the market, everybody look at the price. You understand? Price is the main determinant factor when a man going to purchase. Except that it has certain values that the other one. Yeah. That is why a man would correct. That's why a man would want to purchase it. Anyhow, fellas, I have to run. I'm going to head to the airport. My first son is going to graduate. He has a MSc in civil engineering, so I'm going to domestic carnival. I'm going to join
which institution?
Huh?
Which institution?
I can't remember the name, but it's one of them top university. No, it's I can't remember the name. Okay. But it's one of the top university in Germany.
Oh,
it is based on your grades. The when he went in, the tuition and everything was free. But
so he received a scholarship?
Yeah, he received a scholarship.
Oh, okay.
So he wasn't paying anything, but it is very competitive and it's difficult to get into that university. But what is expensive up there is lodging and those other things. Yeah, it's like 1,200 euros for a single room up there.
What, per month?
Yeah, per month, plus those things. But the cost, I mean, it's only cost him like $1,000 a year, which is next to nothing, minimal.
Next to nothing to you, eh? but that,
So you too.
no.
So he'll be graduating this Friday.
So
yeah.
So we're heading up there. Yeah, he's doing well, and
so the family is heading up.
Well, the wife and we heading up. The younger one is staying here too. Look.
After the farm, I'll make sure the
Yeah. But again, we were talking earlier on about how people view or value education. That is what you're saying to us now is a clear manifestation of that. Education is so important to you and the wife and the family.
No, it's key.
Right. So it's so important. Let me finish making the point, because we were making the point earlier that education is so important that you value it highly. The family values it highly, and therefore, in your case, you're so proud of your son, and correctly so. You're heading out to Germany to experience with him and to support him.
Because the younger one is a quantity survey, and he just developed an app.
I know, but I'm saying for today, for now, you're heading out to Germany to be with that one. Because he's graduating and you're proud about it. So that's the manifestation of how education is so important.
He told me he's fluent in German and Portuguese.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right.
So all the best to you and safe travels.
Thanks very much.
Safe travels.
Yeah, thanks very much.
All right.
All the best to you. All the best.
Yeah, thank you. Nice.
Just to add, Cecil and Pijan, I've been checking out universities in Germany before for one of my sons, and tertiary education in Germany is next to thing. So Vincent, if you go online and so on and you search and see what the cost is, like what Frankie just mentioned in terms of the cost, generally that's what it is like in Germany, and the accommodation is what you would have to factor in. But all things considered, Germany is a good place to go for tertiary education.
The little I know of Germany, and as you said, tertiary, is that they're tops, eh?
Yes.
They're tops. The universities and so on.
Especially if you're in the technical field and so on.
They're tops. So it's whatever it is, it's high level stuff. So we commend Frankie and his family.
Yes, but he made that point as well. I think it should not be lost on us. Where yes, it's one thing in terms of dealing with access to the farm. That's very important, but the greater issue that we have to deal with is the economics of agriculture, the farm, and so on. And how do we get it going? And
let's come back to it because you have a call. We'll come back to that point, John. Good morning. Welcome to the program, Coach. That looks like you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning from St. Vincent Grenadines.
From St. Vincent Grenadines. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Thanks. I know you all have hit that Sokoman acting yet. I think
we need to.
Trust me, last night is a lesson.
A lesson in what? Lesson in what?
In collaboration of two professionals.
Okay.
Who the country have divided. Not they divide themselves, country divide them, because the skin side over here, problem child side over here. And last night, I think we see a kind of unification of two persons who were supposed to be opposites come together and make a beautiful presentation last night. I tell you, they could just package that right now and travel the whole world. That will be sold anyway in the world. Last night's show. Tell you, it's beautiful. That's what I wanted to call because I'm so proud. I feel so good.
But Kojo, I understand that and I appreciate that, but there are others in the competition.
Oh yeah, plenty others was in the competition, but
well, say something about that. Say something about them, man.
Well, the mere fact I start off from that high. It's hard for me to go low.
You could jump down.
Okay, I got jump down. I mean, trust me, Skinny and Fireman Hooper was 10 bars or 10 When Joel used to do high jump, right? We just call that when they move up
inches and centimeters.
inches, okay, inches and feet and whatever it is.
Yeah.
So they were feet and inches above the rest. So I mean, that was baby jumping, trust me. I mean,
No, but tell us seriously. Tell us about the others. Who are the others? Who are some of the others you saw?
Well, I enjoyed Fire Empress. She always does. She always do a good job. I mean, I think I enjoy Mr. Shivambu's son very well too.
Bongo Prime.
Bongo Prime. I mean, I think he came in second, right?
Yes.
So
And he won the raga.
He was pretty good. That's what I'm telling you. He was pretty good. I mean, I think Hans had it in the bag, but I think Hans overdo too much. Yeah, I mean, watching the Rodney Small with Cleve Cat there where they were talking presentation in terms of crowding the stage and not crowding the stage, and I think a lot of them did that last night. You couldn't see the performer on the stage. You were seeing everybody, and the performer himself was lost in the confusion of people on the stage. People need to stop carrying a whole bunch of people. It's like it's not every man on stage. This thing. You need to see the performer. You need to see him or her, and all that theatrics and this and that. Some of those things could be minimized to specific points in the song, and not the whole thing. You know, and they could cut back on the smoke too. But overall, it's a good show.
But you didn't. You just mentioned 3 artists. You know, well, 4, but but the others.
I mean, they're coming. I have to say they're coming. I ain't gonna knock them to a point. I don't want to knock anybody point. I mean, I'm just saying if they're really looking to perform again in a Soca Monarch show, they need to watch the standard. And you say they have to spend no big money, you know, because you could get to that standard without spending a whole lot of money. But they need to see that level of standard. So, because right now we're marketing to the world, we're not just marketing to St. Vincent. You know? And if we're going to be marketing to the world, as I tell you I think I told Colin one time and I tell you, there are times when I have a show from St. Vincent and I feel bad to have my friends and them to watch it because people like they're coming out, like you could see them in the crowd and then they call the name and they walk up on the stage and they perform. And to me, that if you're taking your craft seriously, you should have at least a different uniform in the back, a different kind of suit to just change and come out and perform. You know, some of them didn't spend enough time working the craft to work the crowd. They expect people just jump up on the song, you know. And I think they need to build. From the time they write the song, they're supposed to know how to perform that song, what kind of theatrics, whatever dramatic thing they want to put. They need to put all that right down, all them things they want time. So you're not guessing. Like, take for instance, I'm in St. Vincent, people ask me, could you make this for me? Could you make that for me? You need to really do a bit of work, but what I'm saying, you should, well, if you write a college show, you're supposed to then put everything in place in your head. So if you get picked, or even before you get picked, start making some props. So when your name called, you don't have to rush on to pick up nothing. You already have stuff. So the people need to prepare that. I think the preparation for the artists and the performers, they're not quite ready compared to like what we see with Skinny and them. They planned this thing out properly. This wasn't no 2 minutes guessing. You know, as soon as Fireman get picky, you could tell that was done. You know, like at least a month ago. That whole system was done, put together in a month ago. You know what I mean? So
Joel want to come in to engage you a bit. Hold on, don't go.
All right.
And two issues. First of all, Fireman was on radio a couple of days ago, and he was asking persons to calling and respond or to make a comment on the live as to whether or not he should drop out of competition or continue. And because I think one of the DJs, it might have been Blazewood, said that it's time it's time that the younger artists eat fireman food. And so that was fireman's response. Do you think, first of all, that whether that is fireman was throwing out something to divert people's attention as to what was really going to come last night? Because
I don't know.
because a lot of people did not know that Fireman was going to do the collab with Skinny Fabulous last night. It was not known to all and sundry. So that is one, right? So whether or not, but the main thing I want to ask you is it has to do with the collaboration itself. That it's the first time that, as far as I'm aware, that a collaboration of a duet is winning the Soca Monarch. We've had persons like in the Raga Soca and so on, like Dimes and Pixel and so on, been around for some time. We had for the road match, they had persons like Scorpion and James EP and so forth, but for the first time. And I was raising this issue for quite some time as to why is it that we should be restrictive on to a single person, a sole performer, in whether it's calypso or raga soca or soca. Why you can't have a one or two persons singing instead of just simply one person? And you know, and this is my last sentence, is that we tend to follow, other artists tend to follow success. When a calypsonian like CP and others and so on do well, people try to emulate their style and so forth. Are we going to see, therefore, that you're going to find more collabs coming in 2026 among the younger artists? And would you welcome it?
Yes, I welcome it. I mean, life is progression. It moves up, across, it moves. I'll use iReality Calypso this year as a jumping for answer the question of age. Reality, he's singing until he can't. Right, he's singing until he can't unsing. So my point is, when it's too old for Fireman to resign, there's no such thing. Sparrow sing until he 18. I mean, then he wasn't in competition. But if Sparrow could compete still, probably he might have still competed.
Nelson, Melody,
Nelson don't come off the stage, you know. Every time you look up now, Nelson singing something. Yeah. So I mean, when it's too old, that's the man profession.
Beat him.
That's the man profession. Huh?
Beat him. Just come with something that just do better than him and
but
in the minds of the judges.
If you're a young person, you want to eat Fireman food. Learn to eat your own food first before you come and go eat out of people's bowl. You have to eat your own food.
But Kojo, this year, Andrel, the duos who are competing, I'm sure I saw a couple guys.
Dimes and Pixel.
Dimes and Pixel.
Right. And also a few years ago, there used to be two young women from the UK.
Yeah, and there's
from the UK.
Yeah, but
two grammar school boys from.
Oh, that's right. That too.
Yeah.
So there is
last year.
There was three of them performing Soca Market semi-final. I don't know if they got picked, but three of them together they performed.
I don't have a problem.
So there's precedent. That's the point, Kojo.
Yeah, it's already set already.
Yeah.
It's just that someone has out of that experiment has won for the first time. But the experiment has been going on.
But
any one of them.
But Kojo, I want to bear with me. I read there's an article in the Vicentia newspaper on page 9. This weekend's paper. It's a letter saying where we're really going. It's written by some Jude. I don't know who the person is. And I want to read.
Jude is a DJ.
Oh, okay. But this is what he wrote. A guy with a foreign accent was on radio recently. Anybody understand anything the guy said? All I heard was a wrong depiction of our culture and carnival. Then he rests with Bajan, Trini, Grenada, St. Lucia, Denry, Jab, Bashman, Soca, Boyan, the Fets, and the people outside SVG. Apparently, he learned about Jab in 2000
after Talpri. Guess he never heard Shadow with his Jab and Devil. Those are two, as you know, those are two Shadow songs. And then he goes on. The people who sit around the table making decisions, in bracket, have no clue of how to make Carnival what it used to be. It's a used to be, by the way. The man on the radio said nothing about calypso, mass, pan, or the survival of our carnival and the empty city at nights. What we have been coming home now for carnival is a third generation who already been swayed by outside hip-hop / dancehall cultures, who only see table fetes and short pants, three-piece suits, and syrup. They do private events and sleep the rest of the day. We see them when carnival is over. I say it is perhaps time that we banish calypso, pan, and mass. I think this is kind of tongue-in-cheek statement he's making. And stop wasting time and money. Fancy setup and decor mean nothing unless it's private events of which our festival has become. The long and short is, Carnival is dead in the water, with a seagull engine trying to take it forward, and all we hear, as usual, is how we save and revive Carnival. That's a question he's asking. That's from one Jude. How you respond to that?
Yeah, but I'll tell you, there's some part of it I might say he kind of like on point, but the part when he said, kill you can't use the word carnival if you don't have a mass pan and so you can't use actually. You might have to change that name to something else entirely. You might just have to say, come and enjoy a July Fete.
Come and enjoy what? Come and enjoy what?
A July Fete or July Fete, because
but that's what he's saying. But that's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying. So that means you kill carnival. He said carnival is dying, but now he just put the nail in the car when he suggests that you take out.
No, he's not suggesting. No. He's not suggesting you take out those three fundamental elements. He's not suggesting that. He's making a statement on what he thinks carnival is now. But he's not in a satisfying way. He's not satisfied. He doesn't agree with it. That's.
I mean, let me put it this way: Heritage Square, just like the fetes, the private parties and them, is not really carnival per se. Heritage Square is not really carnival. Carnival is what happens in the park. What we need to know is how to attract people to go to the park in order to make it profitable. That's the only point I can deal with.
I think he's also saying that. He's also saying that.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you're using Heritage Square as a yardstick to say the visitors the visitors come as in Vincent, but the attraction of steel and glitter is not promoted as a carnival private party. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do that, you could up the game. You could make steel and glitter a private thing, so people from all over the world could come. What you need to do is invite people. Somehow I don't think Vincent should love pan as much as we want to feel that he loves pan.
Well, the appreciation for pan, the appreciation has increased over the last 5 or so years.
And I mean, in truth and fact, them younger people now, they ain't appreciating carnival as carnival used to be. Them girls who have some feathers for them, and they don't care what it is, just some feathers half naked and good on the road. You ask one of them, back in the day, you ask a masquerader, the team of the band, they will tell you. Now you ask them what the team of the band, they don't know. They don't even know the name of the section.
I think those are the points that Jude is, as he's called, Jude is making. I think those are the points.
So I'm saying I agree with him, but that part when he say, well, he's suggesting that if we eliminate the costume and all that kind of thing, and just have the parties. But I don't see that part.
I guess he's saying we might as well do that. That's what my understanding of what is. We might as well do that.
I understand, but I wouldn't want to put it out there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I
don't
see.
wanna
Okay,
put that energy.
fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
I don't even want to put that energy out there. So I mean, if there's a suggestion in your head, I'll keep it in my head if I think like that, which I am not. You know what I mean?
So what energy you'd want to put out there?
That we need to create an environment that people see fit to go back. You know, I mean, I think that one of the reasons why we eliminated the 24-hour parking was to allow people to go to park, but people still ain't go park because, as he said, there's a generation of people that came and meet the bars, and it's cheaper for a man to come in town with, let me say, $50 in pocket and stay by Heritage Square and get tight.
Well, he didn't say Heritage Square only, no. He said private events.
I'm using Heritage Square because,
all right.
Yeah,
okay.
because let me tell you something. The man who come in town with $50, he can't go to some of them private parties. So let me put that aside.
Let me hear what Joel and Pigeon have to say. Let me hear what Joel and Pigeon. Joel, a quiet man.
No, I just think that Carnival is changing, and it's the same in Trinidad as well. But at the same, I understand the point that is being made, and we just have to. And I think that the CDC is actually endeavoring to look and see how things how they can keep pace with the evolution of Carnival itself. But at the same time, and just like yesterday, we were just talking about it, like you don't know the names of the sections, the creativity and so on is lost. And I find that we can find a middle ground where we go in a particular direction, but at the same time, embrace a theme and so forth, and don't just simply bring in a one design that is you're going to use in Trinidad, Grenada, St. Lucia, Barbados, and so forth. And
niche.
Well,
I don't need such a thing. I don't know.
That is substantive.
Joel,
yes.
Joel, I didn't want to say a part of it because I see Trinidad in Oakland Carnival, just as it was in Trinidad, presented in Oakland Carnival, and everybody say, "Oh, but this is my design." I'm like, "No, it's a universal design."
Yes, I saw. Yeah, I took pictures of a design in Trinidad, which I saw in St. Vincent and so on. So that is so the creativity is what it is. So we got to look at it, and I think that evolution changes what it is, but we have to embrace it, but at the same time try and get ahead of it and so on, so we can shape it to the way we want it to be, or we feel it should be, rather than the way in which some other persons feel that it should be going.
So, Kojo, in that respect, what role can you play, and how can you play that role?
I mean, I try to promote the culture part of Carnival.
Kojo, hold on. I just want to let our listeners know that you are a man from way back when, in terms of, because people might be hearing you making these points, and they may be asking where he come from. Kojo is a culture man in all respects, from way back in the 70s. Yes, Kojo.
Yeah, well, that I'm saying is like, I mean, like, take for instance, Blondie Board, players. I think they incorporating feathers into the traditional way of we were making costumes. I mean, you could see the little craft work and all that stuff is in there. I mean, I ain't knocking no band, but some bands, you could tell that the design is the universal design pattern. And I think a lot of people open their eyes to that pretty feather and that pretty looking thing. And I mean, yeah, Carnival is supposed to be pretty, but it's supposed to tell a story and it's supposed to be creative and all that kind of stuff too.
But Kojo, would you say that you started by commenting on the Power Soca? Would you say that is universal design as well?
No. Like a lot of people follows a beat now, because back in the day they had Frankie McIntosh range and you had Les Tempala range and all different kind of range. So you used to have a similar way that you have a different, you could know when it was Les Tempala creation, when it's Frankie creation and all that kind of stuff. The problem now is that they make a rhythm and 10 or 20 people sing on that one rhythm. So if you're judging originality in music, there's no such thing anymore. Because it's a pattern, what do you call it? How do you call it? A rhythm?
A rhythm, as far as I know,
name.
a rhythm.
A track.
It's basically a drum. It's basically, as you know, it's basically a drum pattern.
Yeah, I'm saying they give it a name, and people follow like I don't know if you follow this. I think they call it back something, or but there's a rhythm that a lot of Vincent parties sing, and the same beat go through. If you buy that thing on Spotify or anything, you get the whole collab of the artists and them. They flow one after the other, just by the same drum beat. So there's no originality in the music. They just say, well, the Skinny Own is different in terms of it's the same beat, it's the same thing. So that's my problem with those beat things. They cut out the creativeness of Jack Ben and them and Frankie McIntosh, and a producer could just tap thing on the computer, tap and he bring up a beat and everybody say, oh, that song good, and they go on with it. And so I think that somehow they need to go back to the drawing board with their beat business and come up with some, at least give me a few songs of the year where we could song like a Winston so we could song like a Beckett.
Do you think that's likely to happen?
I don't see that because I think we have moved. We have gone too far from that. So, I mean, they could incorporate an arranger inside it who probably might guide them into a certain direction, different than just the beat. They might be able to say, "Watch now, you could drop some horns here, you could drop some this there," and give them a more guidance in terms of putting the music together, and it might sound different.
And is that what? But Kojo, is what you sense from the song? Sorry, the songs which or the song which Skinny Fabulous and Fireman Hooper sang last night. Did they have any particular brass arrangement in it that made it different?
Well, if there was brass, it was very thin.
Okay.
But I didn't really hear.
Okay.
When them old time songs, when you hear the brass, hard hitting brass,
Yeah.
You don't hear that anymore from them songs anymore.
So
That's all I think.
So even the keyboard, even those keyboard players don't try and bring in some keyboard brass.
Well, I mean, trust me, I don't think them engineer brass is as brassy enough as the real thing. Eh?
Right, but it has never been. But still, it adds energy. I'm sure you'd agree.
I mean, yeah. And as you tell you, man, just now I overtime.
No. I want to ask you. No, I have to ask you about tonight. The calypsos for tonight.
Okay. You want to find out who I have in my tops?
That too. But I want to know what you think. Do you think the calypsos these days they are universally designed as well, or is there something special about Vincy calypsos?
I personally think that too much rap politics calypso. I mean, back in the day, people used to write calypso that is political, like Posa, Mountain Muma. It was a political song, but you could have enjoyed, even if you were on the other side, you'd enjoy it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But today, the way they write in calypso, they calling name, it's too rap. That's probably what they want. But I think people could be more creative in their writing. I don't think people just straightforward write up like blah, 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 and there's no creativeness in the writing. There's no, if you understand what I'm saying. Where they could write calypso that you're doing the same thing, but it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you're on, you still enjoy the calypso.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is going to happen tonight? What's your expectation for tonight?
My expectation, I think by Empress and my partner, reality, I looking for them. I looking for the reality once he ain't mess up, and he come out strong. I think he can play us because that is a unique song. It's a special kind of song. It's a song that reminds you of Calypso, you know.
But he got to present it.
By Empress.
But he got to present
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Once he present it properly, you know, and I hope he do that, you know. So I mean, if you look at Tajo is my partner, but Tajo, Zainai, and Mazat, they're basically in the same type of writing. It's straightforward. There's no ambiguity of what they're doing, you know, what they say. Oh, sorry, man, sick too. You know, they all have the agenda set down. But like Fire Empress, the African drum, that's beautiful. The boom, 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 bum, bum, whatever it is. Yeah, I like those songs. You know, they speak to the mass of people, not politically one side and the other. Because let's not fool ourselves. Tajo, high crowd, who gonna say, oh, Tajo, and Zaina, got high crowd, oh, Zaina, and Mazat. So, you know, once you sing straight up political song like that, you divide yourself already in a small pool of people. For me, you could be more creative in your writing and do the same job. So those are the two forces who are you looking at tonight. High Reality and Fire Empress.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And you're going there to hear brass. Real brass.
Yeah, well, I see there some brass on the stage for the semi-final, so I know already some.
Real brass. Wind brass. All right. All right. Thanks for this good analysis. Thank you. Yeah, hold on. Joel is coming. Joel.
Yeah, I just want to say something. This is going back a long time, and this is actually going to 1984. And I was actually the secretary of the Carnival Development Committee at the time. And I had different responsibilities, and one of them was even to deal with the decoration of the stage. And the stage was not up to the day before the first show, the morning. There was no decoration. So I had to go and get some material. And I remember going in a Bad Lads and Lasses tent.
And
this was 3 o'clock in the morning and so forth. And this man decided to leave what he was doing in the tent and go around Victoria Park with me.
This man meaning Kojo.
This man meaning Kojo. And work with me right through from 3 until sun come up.
Kojo, remember that?
Yeah. Now we talk about it. It kind of been in the back of my head. The computer didn't bring it up all yet.
Yeah, so I mean it's a long time ago, but I'm still ever grateful to him, you know?
Yes.
All right.
All right, Kojo.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Good for calling. Good for you to call us. Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
So, in 2020, I was George and Kess. They won the Sokomana together with a song called Stage Gone Bad.
In Trinidad?
It's not the first time.
In Trinidad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we were referring to St. Vincent, but yeah, you're right. But we were talking about St. Vincent. Oh, that's right. Yeah, when Fireman was part of Rose's crew. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct.
Yeah, I think 1999, something like that.
Push up the word.
Yeah. I think the reason why Fireman keep competing is because he keep winning. If he was to lose 3 or 4 times, I think he's going to do like a lot of the others and stop taking part. Because he's just like the only person. Well, I know that performance compete yesterday, but he's like the only person who's been competing for 25 years. All the other people are dropped out and gone.
So once you win, once you know the formula to win, you must keep competing.
Yeah.
All right.
What I want to see Fireman go to the next level. Fireman is not a household name in the world of soca.
But what is that next level? What is that next level?
Like a Problem Child or Skinny Fabulous, where every carnival his name is on a booking. that's what I want to see about Fireman. So
how would you see him getting? How would you see him getting there?
Well, you have to have a record that hits. The songs are not hitting beyond St. Vincent for the most part.
Do you think
He
this
hasn't had a
collab?
season in Trinidad.
Do you think this collab with Skinny Fabulous would help him hit?
Well, Skinny Fabulous have had many combination with other people, and their song haven't gone away. He had a song with that guy from Barbados. It didn't go. The song was popular, but it didn't do nothing for the guy. He did a song with another. He did a song with a Vinci guy. I think I can't remember the name. Something. That song didn't go. It got popular, but it didn't do nothing for that guy. So I want to see Fireman go to the next level. I'm kind of disappointed his career hasn't gone to the next level. I want to see him on a billing in Atlanta, a billing in Baltimore, a billing at Miami Carnival, a billing in Trinidad Carnival. That's what I want to see for Fireman.
Call him and make some suggestions to him, man.
A billing at St. Kitts Music Festival where I was last week. That's what I want to see.
Well, didn't you observe particular aspects about that St. Kitts Music Festival? You should share with Fireman. Then he may want to. I'm serious.
Well,
I'm serious.
Skinny Fabulous could share that with him because Skinny Fabulous performed there 2 years ago. Share that with Fireman. You don't have to share. I don't have to share with him.
Well, you can. It would strengthen the whole thing and help you realize your own expectation of him.
Yeah. One thing. Well, I probably save this for when you have Rodney Adams come on. I save some for what I want to say. When Rodney Adams, when you get Rodney Adams
Small, you mean?
So
you said Rodney Adams. You mean Rodney Small? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Rodney Small.
Yeah.
Rodney Small. Let's save that for another time. So have a good morning. Bye. Good
you
evening.
too.
Bye.
Good. You too. Good afternoon. Yes. Bongo. A lot of knowledgeable people about Vincy Mars, man.
Any written comments?
Yeah, I'll read them out in a while. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Carnival.
Sounds like it.
Skinny and Fire bring some play to the place. One of the things we don't like,
No. Don't start on that footing. Don't start on that footing, man.
Don't start on it.
Don't start on that footing. The collaboration, hear me. The collaboration itself is good. So start from there.
Yeah, it's good, my brother. But what I'm saying to you, the kind of pull down will get from other people like Skinny's outside, that Fires out, we have to learn to love we. Here another thing. Pan. We have so many youths, because for instance, I grew up in the best village in St. Vincent and Grenadine, which is Roman's Reward,
people may question, other people may question that, but go ahead.
I beg your pardon?
Others may question that, but go ahead. I love to pass on.
I don't like to hear that anyway.
But go ahead.
I was saying to you, we grew up in an organization where we have LCDU and then we have KD stuff. And then you're teaching the youth to come on. There's a son in the jar in terms of bandwide. My boy, you're bringing other people from Trinidad to play pan here. When you have Vinci here, it's a Vinci thing. Why you bringing people from Trinidad to make you to win? The Vinci people here, and we had the pan going on. TCU still need the crown, the legacy. And that shouldn't be. That's just my views. When I talk to other people with pan, they don't have no outsiders. It's the Vinci. Why you bringing in other people from over Trinidad and these places to play? To compete with us.
What do you mean when you talk to other people who are in PAN? What do you mean?
Based on what I gather, like other people from other parts of the Caribbean come in St. Vincent to play PAN with other group here.
But hold on. But those people are still coming in, like the Trinities. They are coming in.
Yeah, they could come in to take part in our carnival and take you going on in terms of competing to competition and things like that. I think should be having thing.
You mean
that's just my view.
No, you mean the pan, like pan should be.
Yeah, the pan. I'm talking about the pan. Yeah.
Okay. So are you saying that others coming from like St. Lucia to play pan as well? That's what you're saying?
Well, based on what I understand, so because to correction.
Yeah, so some come into play pan.
People from Trinidad coming into play pan for the
Yeah,
group here.
we hear that. So people from Trinidad come in to play pan and to arrange, but and to tune and all of that. But you're saying people from St. Lucia coming in as well? That's what you're saying?
No. I was just trying to reference.
No, well, you have to be concrete, man. All right, but I understand the point you're making, in particular about pan.
But just saying that Vincentians go to Trinidad to play pan.
I was going to come into telling that.
And
Vincentians have arranged also in Trinidad. Vincentians have arranged pan in Trinidad as well. But I understand the point you're making, and I'm in sympathy with some of those points. Because I think the point you're making is that we need to give opportunities to Vincies to
to the youth man.
Yeah, to develop their skills.
Pass on the butter.
All right, thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, Pigeon, you're saying?
No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. In terms of what's written here, just read some of them. First of all, we've been advised that Fireman did collaboration with Blakey.
Oh, Skinny.
He said Blakey. The person said Blakey.
Skinny.
Oh, Skinny, not
that was
Fireman.
competition, or that was just a
I don't think
production.
they didn't compete.
Oh, well, anyway, the person is saying Fireman, but so it's Bongo Shaka. Bongo Shaka, you're wrong this time. It's from what Joel and Pigeon are saying is Skinny Fabulous. And
no
Blakey.
long talk, I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the lyrics.
But even that was clean as compared to some of what we hear these days. And then we have this from somebody. They're not specific to the comments, Pigeon. They're not too specific to Carnival, but this person saying, besides the teaching, resources, etc., the family dynamic might be significant in school success. Why is it that in certain families, all the children get into their, quote, elite, unquote, schools? I submit that the minister's son, who came first, would have excelled whatever or wherever he went. Expectations, the level of conversation in the home, the exposure to ideas, the freedom to challenge. I think the freedom to challenge.
Even
to
parents themselves act as role models. Some students would like to have done as well as their father or mother did.
Which is
in school.
Which is what the person's saying here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's from somebody who's listening. See? This person saying, yeah, I think this comment is particularly in response to Mr. Providence when he called. How could you say Heritage Square? Oh, sorry. How could you say Heritage Square is not part of Carnival? Heritage Square is street bars, and street bars are part of Carnival. Post is making this comment in response to nobody said Heritage Square is not Carnival. I was telling when Coach mentioned Heritage Square, I was trying to say to him that the person mentioned private events, which includes part of Heritage Square. Yes,
well, I think they meant that Carnival is more than Heritage Square.
Well, yeah, Kojo said that.
Yeah.
Isn't Kojo didn't
that
say
it's all part of Carnival.
Right. This person saying, good morning. Gentlemen, good morning. I read Jomo Thomas's piece on Carnival, and I think he is out of sync with the art form. He thinks we should take the Queen show out of Carnival. He said Carnival is not fit with what nonsense. This year, Carnival so far has lived up to expectations. Kudos to CDC. This person really responding to Jomo's column in the paper this week. And those are the ones that are here now. By the way, Bongo Shaka admitted that he was incorrect. So, yeah. All right. So those were responses. Mainly, we had a substantial input from Kojo. We would like to hear from others in terms of how they feel about the way Carnival is going in terms of the elements, the fundamental elements, Calypso, Mass, Pan, and how the private events fit in. So, Joel,
I was just thinking, long ago, the private event really was aquatic club, right? You go to and so forth. And similarly, you went to Trinidad, you virtually went into a club for a fete and so forth, where one of the top bands in Trinidad, same thing in Barbados and so
Charlie's
forth.
Roots.
Yeah, Charlie's Roots and so on, right? But it has changed, not just in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I think we're all going in the same direction, more or less at the same time, where it is that basically outdoor events on the tents, the same sort of arrangements been made there, the brunch and soca, the different things, the wet fetes and so forth. It's the same kind of thing, and that is what the younger persons like, the type of costume and so forth. That it seems to be going in a particular direction. I think that the CDC itself recognizes these things, and persons like Rodney Small, who I believe can straddle what the change to come, or the change that is taking place, and as well, and embrace the past as well, and so forth, and can find a combination that can be satisfactory to all and sundry. I think we have a good product. I think we are making some strides, but not challenging what Jude has been saying per se. But there are certain things that we need to iron out. But I think that we're going in the right direction, and I think that we can be proud of what we have. And people are coming in, and we are enjoying the carnival experience as a whole. It is not just about Victoria Park. It's about the whole and everything that takes place, including taking the fast ferry to Beckway and so on, and having a good time and so forth. So I think that we can be proud of what we have. We just have to make sure that the content is sharper in terms of I would like to say some improvement in terms of calypso and soca and so I think generally we can lift our game a little bit. I am from a little bit on the old school where I love to hear good melody and so on. That is why I like to hear people like Kess and even like Young Brother and so forth. I like that has a nice melodic structure rather than just simply the drum pattern and so on, and you're going with that. But I am of a different generation and so on. But if you can still be able to combine that, you can still have the beat and the rhythm and so on, which I think to some degree is what Erupt has done for Skinny Fabulous and Fireman. When you look at they has a nice melodic structure in the background and so forth. At the same time, it has the vibe, the powerful deep beat and so forth. So we have to have some good music. Bongo Prime has some good song, good melody and so forth. That's why he would have won the Raga Soca. And tonight we have some calypsos. I don't necessarily want to go say that I'm supporting or echoing what Kojo but by and large, the difference in style of the two persons and the two songs that he mentioned, the Children of the Drum and I Reality. So I remember I Reality going all the way back to 1974 as a little boy then and so on. There was a particular issue that took place at Victoria Park, which I'll mention off here with I Reality back in 74. But so I think that I don't know what the judges would be looking for, except the criteria is there. But by and large, I think that we want many people to go to Victoria Park. I think they have some good artists, some along a particular line that is not as imaginative, as creative as good, but we also have some good music, and I would love person to go to Victoria Park tonight to enjoy the Calypso finals.
I am particularly looking forward to nothing good to say. And
You mean man sick?
man sick.
Okay.
And I know who you mean. Zion.
Zion, sorry.
Yeah, Zion.
I will not express directly my favorite. I will do like the others. I'll wait until the competition is over and then say the winner. Yeah, that is the one that I would have picked. In all honesty, that I prefer those that are more creative, with a good beat and so forth, and that the lyrics and the choice of words, you can see that there's some thought that went into the lyrics and so on. And those artists, and without being very specific, those are the ones I hope would rise to the top.
Gentlemen, I'm most impressed and encouraged by what I heard during the junior calypso, junior, well, secondary and primary. I thought I don't know who writes, well, in all cases, the lyrics were well put together, and the arrangement, I could not believe, really, the arrangement of some of the well, actually all of them were very well arranged in my view, and I was so impressed, and it lifted my spirit when I heard those deliveries, because I'd heard some of the senior ones and I wasn't that impressed. But when I listened to the juniors, they all, in my view, they were well put together, very, and they just lifted my spirit. The lyrics and the musical arrangement. And I'm saying, so why do those things don't continue? Because I don't know, if even the soca in the era of the soca, the youngster who won from Sander Bay, what's the name again? Can't remember the name. Lexi. Yeah.
Lexi was also in the big. But she didn't make it to the final. She's a reserve. She was a reserve.
Okay, but I thought to me, she's good.
She has potential.
She has,
one for the future. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the composition, the lyrical composition that impressed me. It's no kind of one word, one phrase thing. You see what I'm saying? You know, the lyrics tell a story, both in the soca for the juniors I'm talking about, and the soca and the calypso especially for the juniors. I was very impressed, and I'm still very impressed. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. We were just having a chit chat just now about something that we want to entertain. Yeah. So yes, Pigeon, I was very impressed. I gather it's usually teachers who write.
Normally teachers.
Right? Yeah. And it makes a difference. To me, it makes a difference. I don't know who write for some of the seniors, but certainly when the teachers write, that makes a difference. Based on what I heard.
But even the stage performance also reflects some level of maturity.
Yeah. Yeah. That you don't see coming from somebody senior but yeah, it's really refreshing, and therefore there's merit in the conclusion that the future looks good for calypso. Notwithstanding what we've been talking about, the future looks good, and it's hard for the private fetes and so on to outdo calypso and pan and all of that. I mean, the elements will remain. The fundamental elements will have to remain. They will remain. It's just that the call is to find ways to improve them. And I think it will happen. It's been happening. It's been happening. Perhaps not as quickly as some of us would like to. Somebody's asking, well, Bongo Shek is asking, do you think, okay, we'll come back to that. We're trying to set something up so we can share with our listeners. And, somebody just was trying to call us under an unknown. Yes, let me just finish reading this that came in. A question really coming from Bongo Shek is saying, do you think that children should be made to sing hard partisan political songs of which they have not much overstanding? Guys,
what makes him think that they don't have any overstanding? What he actually meant understanding.
Well, in his song is overstanding, yeah. I don't know. Joel, did you hear that?
No.
Bongo Shaka is asking, do you think children should be made to sing hard partisan political songs of which they have not much he said overstanding, but I think we know what he means, understanding.
I don't know.
I believe, honestly, I believe that the child should be able to function as the master of he should appreciate and know what's it about. But you can assume that, I don't know, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old should have an appreciation of some of the political related issues. But I support the point that he's making, but at the same time, don't underestimate the knowledge and thing of the young children.
Mm-hmm. Although we have to recognize, and I think he might be doing that, it's a reflection of the writer. So I shouldn't say the teacher, the writer of the song. I mean, the song may reflect the thinking of the writer. I don't know if that's the point he's saying, but I'm sure the singer, in the case of the student or the child, would need to be familiar with some of the things. Otherwise, he or she would not be able to deliver.
Cecil, as a teacher, I could recall just sitting and listening to students without them necessarily aware of my presence, discussing current events.
Okay.
And I tell you, kid you not, they are aware of what is going on around them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, we have I hope it's okay for us to play it, a recording of Skinny Fabulous's and Fireman's presentation last night.
Yep. That's it last night, or the actual recording?
Oh, is it recording?
Recording.
Oh, sorry. Stand corrected. Recording. Let's just say a part of it. So persons could go back and listen to the
Souffle Europe, the whole place Europe, like when souffle Europe, the whole place Europe, boom, we just sit up and we gone, we must sit up and we gone, we shall it down and we gone, we must sit up and we gone, Maddy say, boys love us all and run, look the ashes at home, boys love us all and run, look the fire. The whole place on over. Leave battalion to run. Everybody run. Leave battalion to jump. Everybody jump. You know what to do. Turn the place like a zoo. We make the place run now. Like when Souffle Europe. The whole place mash up. Like when Souffle Europe.
The creativity in this song is how they use the moment of souffle, the kind of souffle eruption, to compose what to me is a very good, well put together song.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And the imagery is there. You
Yeah.
feel it, even the beat, even in the background, you hear like some explosions and so
Yes.
on. And it's beautiful. And then
And in the arrangement,
the arrangement.
there's a constant, like a piano or something
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
back there, which is anchoring the song.
The song, yes.
And you know, and that's the point. The younger artists, in my view, and you've said it, others have said it, that if they spend some time and create their piece, it could be just as perhaps close to being as good as this one. But I find some of them don't spend time. They come up with a what they call a rhythm, simple beat, and that's it. And that's what Kojo was saying earlier, the same point. But this song, it's well put together, very well arranged.
Very well put together, yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, the lyrics are rich, you know, the lyrics are rich. And so on. So in terms of the scoring, the points, you know, almost everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it will do on Tuesday.
Oh, I mean on the road?
On the road, not tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow on Tuesday, because I think someone else is ahead of I believe that.
That's the thing, eh?
I believe that Problem Child is.
You think it's Problem Child?
I think it's.
I heard another one.
Fred Horn?
No.
Yes.
No, I think it's another one. I think I heard another one. I'm not even.
Well, on the road and on the boxes on the side, I'm hearing Problem Child.
Okay.
Fred Horn more than anything else. Yeah. But maybe there may be others. So maybe I'm missing because I'm not as around as I used to be.
Yeah.
It's interesting how the themes get practically recycled. Fred Horn remind me of Beckett Horn.
Long time.
Touch Man Can't Take
Man Can't Take Both. Yeah.
And even Beckett is the man who talk about rum. In the early days, Beckett did that. Now we having the same thing, the rum songs. People are on the rum song, but Beckett was long on the rum song. And Peter, you're so correct. The themes they just so recycle. Because even the wine thing is Beckett, wine on Kingstown and all them things. Long ago. But we don't have a new expression of those things. It's the same thing. Yeah, same.
But and Erupt is different, though.
Oh, Erupt is different. Yeah. I meant, you know, the others, I don't sense that level of creativity and, you know, but Erupt is different. It is definitely different.
But clearly, I don't think if Skinny and our fireman leave the competition, whoever wins, to be there's no value, there's not much value in that winning until you beat Skinny or fireman. I could recall some time ago when I think
there's somebody calling. There's somebody calling. Maybe you could take the Pigeon. You want to finish your thought?
Yeah, when Hyper, I think it's Hyper
2000,
4,000. I can remember commenting that that is not a real win because the big stars didn't compete.
Magic.
Yeah.
Let's hear what this person is saying. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Is this Mr. Ryan?
This is your hand. Yes.
Oh yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Leonie. I have Mr. Ryan and
Mr. Providence and Mr. John and Mr. John
and Mr.
John.
I disappointed you guys. Gotta understand. This is a modern time in the music business. We can't go back to Beckett and we say again.
We didn't say to go back. You know. No, we didn't say to go back, but we kind of.
No,
you know.
But you saying recycled? Come on, that is a completely different song for Problem Child. Completely different song.
No. Just that it reminds me of Horn for Them.
No. Horn for Them was a very slow song.
All right, explain. Explain to us. Explain the difference.
Beckett that's a more of a calypso song than a Then the Problem Child song is more upbeat, is more modern for the younger folks and them. You say something that you don't hear storytelling in songs. Problem song child have a story. I think was what Kojo was talking about that. It have a story. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's telling you, you must think horn easy. You understand? Horn have his friend eating out a garbage can. Ask Mr. Providence for that. You understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean ask him about that?
No, I just because he was wrong in Carnival a long time.
Yeah, all of us were wrong long time.
Huh?
Not only Mr. Providence.
All of us?
Yeah.
Why you came in tongue from country?
My friend, I was in tongue before you.
No, man, I ain't think so. Cause you wonder
right.
when we used to go under the market, shed and listen calypso and all them things.
Leon,
you know about those days?
You know when we used to go in the banana shed up in country and listen to Trinidad Calypso and Vinci Calypso?
You talk about I talk about Kingston.
I ain't talking about Kingston. All I'm saying Vinci used to be involved in
guys used to come
Calypso.
out and perform for free. Yeah, you wouldn't know about those days. You didn't come in tongue yet.
But you don't know.
even think
Hold
Mr.
on.
Providence gonna come out among Joes.
You don't know that
Yeah.
people in the country used to sing Calypso and perform for free? You didn't know that?
No,
You don't know
I'm
that?
saying no. I'm not. I'm
Right.
Not
So
disputing that.
what I'm saying
But
to
I'm
you,
just saying
tongue is
to
not.
you wouldn't know about one of the days on the market shedding King song.
But I'm saying
all
to
these
you
Calypso
is that
would come
Tongue
out on
and
the
Market
Saturdays.
Square was not the only place where Calypso was sung in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, all right.
Leon,
All
I
right.
have
But
something
I'm
to
just
say.
saying, don't be so hard on Problem Child.
No,
song.
No. We are
That's all.
no. We are not being hard on him. No.
In
Don't
fact,
get
he's
that.
saying that Problem Child more than likely could win the road
Road
match.
match.
Confusing.
Yeah. I know, but you're always saying that it sounds like a recycled song,
No,
but it's
just
not.
the
It's a
topic.
different
Something
song.
about the topic.
We talk about the topics.
The topic, not the music.
The topics.
The topic, not the music.
Not the music.
Like horn for
I
them,
catch
horn
you later now.
and
Okay.
rum. Remember Beckett
Yeah.
used to sing about rum
Yeah.
a lot and wine.
Yeah.
Well, those are the same. Those are the
But Leon,
topics.
I just wanted to
Yes.
tease based on
But then we name other song too. Rum caused them to lose the Calypso Club.
Exactly.
Who was that?
Sunblaze.
So don't forget I've been around too now. Don't forget.
We're not questioning that. We know you've been around, but we're just saying
But
to you.
I just had an idea for a topic for next year. It could be a good soca song. So maybe you could write it or get to write it. You heard Mr. Ryan say, I come tongue before you. So that's a good topic for next year.
Listen.
Yes.
That ain't true. That ain't. No, the Prime Minister may come tongue before me, but not Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan just come the other day. Mr. Ryan just came the other day. Not Mr. Ryan.
But think about the topic.
But,
hear me. Hear me.
I will send one of my songs for you.
All right, but here, think about the topic. I come tongue before you.
Yeah, that's a good soca.
No, but Mr. Providence, I have a couple songs out, but I will send one for you next week.
All right.
If you look me up, you look up my name, Leon Brown, and you will see some of my songs. Go on YouTube and you will see some of my songs.
All right, okay.
So next week you will play one for me.
Okay, cool.
All right then.
All right.
Yeah, I come tongue before you.
Yeah. Yeah, Leon. You know Leon well, do you? Joel? I don't really know the person is. It's interesting. Yeah, we're getting there.
So we
there are two messages that I just want to read. Oh, this discussion is bad. We don't need to go back there. Bongo, saying you're right. Especially teachers must be mindful of the young. Well, this is Bongo Shaka, and he's saying that teachers ought to be mindful about how they write for children. Bongo Shaka. He's saying the secondary school can handle such topics, especially we have seen in public speaking competition, but the primary school youth, it's a different ballpark. Some writers may have a bias against the government in right for the youth to sing. Pijan?
So is there anything wrong with having a bias against the government?
Well, that's what he say. No, there's nothing wrong.
But he's saying that maybe in secondary school and not primary school. I disagree with that. Why shouldn't primary school
Bongo should
children
probably spend some more time among children, and you would realize how sophisticated they are.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
even your ordinary 3-year-old tend to be very, very, very much aware of what's going on in the environment.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know way that concern. Well, he would have to explain that. All right, so this was Fireman and Fit Skinny last night.
So for Europe, the whole place Europe, that burn so for Europe, the whole place Europe, we just sit up and we gone, we mash it up and we gone, we chill it down and we gone, we mash it up and we gone.
Well, that's a taste of Fireman, and I'm sure this studio has.
So as a combination, they were volcanic to the extent that they blowed all the other.
Perfectly put, Pigeon. I like that.
Volcanic. Yes, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to bring up something. Yes.
Do you think that you don't know if it's a one-off or it's going to be continued, and whether or not it was hard to beat them by themselves? I know with the collab.
It's double.
So, but still, I mean, other the youngsters get together, man, and get a good arranger behind you and so forth, and see what can be done. Because it isn't that persons don't want someone else every now and to win as well, but you got to win. You just can't be a result of Fireman or well, in this case of Skinny Fabulous, lose it.
Yeah. Does that
they must be bowled out? They mustn't retire.
But does that set the stage for the future, 2026 and beyond?
I think it does.
Then the other competitors are in trouble. No, they will lift their game.
I think it does in terms of lifting the game.
Yeah. They would lift their game. They need to. All right, there's a message here, and I'm trying to catch up, but I'm having difficulty, so I'm not going to bother. So, gentlemen, that's about it. How do I get past this? There's something there to read. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. But there's something else above it. Bongo Shaka wants three of us to sing background vocals for a song he's going to do. And the topic he has here, I come to town before you.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. This is about it. And as you know, this Karen is already here. Is something for us to share? Okay, well, let me just like somebody started the composition, Joel. Somebody started the composition of the song.
Leon's song.
Oh, Leon, he sent his own already.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but gentlemen, this is about it for today. We have come to the we've exhausted our time, and I don't know if it's any final thing you guys want to just.
So far the carnival celebration seems to be going well. I haven't heard of any adverse reports, and let us hope it continues to be peaceful. The one thing that concerned me a little bit is that the police has threatened to shut down shows in which the expletives are used in songs. That is something we should have looked at.
But what they consider to be expletives?
Well, what the profanities. I heard what's his name, Benjamin was making the comment.
Mm-hmm.
But so far it seems as if carnival has been going clean.
There's an issue that
and
came
peaceful.
up. I'm not aware fully of it. There was supposed to be an exhibition. Are you aware of that, Joel? Outside the Parliament, the old Parliament building, and it was not allowed. I'm sure I saw an article to that effect. All right. Yeah, Joel.
Yeah, I just want to close Happy Carnival to all. Especially to the visitors to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I just want to indicate that if they come in tongue for the carnival and that they coming from country and they reach Sion Hill and they coming down into town on the main road, that road more than likely are we advocating for a change in the name of that road from Sion
I noticed
Hill.
they're not calling the road.
No, I'm calling the road.
With the name.
That road from Sion Hill that takes us down to Forester's Corner or to the customs warehouse.
Are you talking about the road down Sally Spring? Are you talking about the road?
No, that's an option when you get to Sally Spring, but I'm not talking about Sally Spring down in. In fact, I even need to go do some research on Sally Spring.
I was going to.
Yeah. I need to do some research on Sally Spring. But really, from Sion Hill to town, Forester's Corner, we need to change the name, and let's join us in advocating the name change as soon as possible. I do believe that
not from now.
Yeah. I believe that
change the name as soon as possible.
I believe that we have a willing government, maybe a willing parliament, but I just believe that they want to ensure that the people are behind the change. So let us ensure that the voices of the people would be heard on this issue.
You know, gentlemen, I wanted to raise this issue earlier, and I read the back page of the Vincentian newspaper is highlighting that Melbourne Constant deserves his due. That's a caption. And they're saying he has been in this making and producing bass band for over 50 years. And it's an issue we needed to have raised in this carnival, especially when we're looking at Beckett and his own 50-year contribution to Vincentian culture. I don't know. Somebody wrote an article. It looks as if it was written by Paddy Correa, that article, and mentioned that he mentioned himself, but in particular Melbourne Constant. And I always remember Melbourne when I went to Victoria Park to see Mass for the first time. And Leanne might be listening to this, but I remember Melbourne used to always come with unique presentation. His Mass never used to be on wheels; it used to be on his back, carrying them on his back. I remember one year when
Raggy.
I remember one year it was scary when the wind used to blow strong across Victoria Park on the stage, and one person I saw was a woman carrying him out, and he just tumbled over. But yes, Melbourne has been around for a long time and really should have received his due in terms of recognition. I mean, certainly if it's over 50 years, CDC needed to pay some attention and recognize him. And it's not too late. You have a few shows. If Bradley is listening, well, it's too late for this year. Certainly for next year, they need to pay full recognition, give full recognition to Melbourne I wanted to raise it earlier, but it slipped me. But I just thought I'd mention it now. So, with that, gentlemen, we have come to another the end of another Issue at Hand edition, and I enjoyed today. I laughed a lot. Maybe some of those interesting things that we heard from Bongo Shaka and Leon, and maybe we can look for next year for a production calypso. I come tongue before you. Is that what it is? I come tongue before you. Background singers, Pigeon and Gerald and Cecil. And up front on the mic would be Bongo Shaka. All right, so we have a date fixed. And Mr. Providence is supposed to call him to set a date when he can accommodate me up in convent up in Spring Village. All right, so with that, we want to say good afternoon to all who have been taking part in our discussion today, and we thank you very much. And we look forward to being with you next Sunday. Enjoy the rest of Carnival and be safe and be good. My name is Cecil Ryan. Good afternoon.